Hello friends. Think about this for a moment. How many dreams have been lost, not because they were impossible, but because someone gave up too soon? The truth is, success isn't reserved for the smartest, the richest, or the luckiest. It's reserved for those who refuse to quit. Every time life knocks you down, you have two choices: stay on the ground or rise stronger than before. This is why the greatest lesson we can live by is simple but life-changing. Never give up. Here are 3 main key points. Key point 1. Failure is not the end, it's a step forward. Every great success story begins with setbacks. Failures are not signals to quit. They are lessons that prepare us for growth. The key is to see each obstacle as part of the journey, not the finish line. Key point 2. Persistence builds strength and character. When you keep going despite challenges, you develop resilience. Persistence doesn't just bring success. It transforms you into a stronger, wiser, and more confident version of yourself. Key point 3. Every small effort brings you closer to victory. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent small steps that build momentum. Even when progress feels invisible, each effort adds up and eventually leads to breakthrough. Let's discuss in detail. When we speak of never giving up, the first truth we must confront is that failure is not the end. It is, in fact, the very beginning of growth. Most people interpret failure as final, as if a wrong turn or a lost opportunity marks the conclusion of their potential. But what is failure, really? It's not a verdict on your worth. It's an encounter with reality. You aimed for something and you missed. That sting you feel, that disappointment, is not proof that you should stop. It's proof that you are alive, that you dared to try, and that you've been given new information about the path forward. Failure is like a mirror that reflects back the difference between who you are and who you need to become. It forces you to confront weaknesses, illusions, and blind spots that comfort never reveals. And although it feels harsh, it is a teacher of the highest order. Every great scientist, artist, athlete, and leader has failed repeatedly. The difference is, they didn't allow those failures to define them. They chose to interpret each setback as part of the process rather than as its conclusion. And that choice is everything. Because the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is the soil from which success grows. But failure alone is not enough. What matters next is persistence. Persistence is the decision to keep moving despite fatigue, despite frustration, despite the voice in your head whispering that it would be easier to stop. It's easy to keep going when results are visible, when rewards are immediate. But life doesn't usually work that way. Progress is slow. Often it's invisible. You can give your best effort for weeks, months, even years without seeing clear evidence that you're moving forward. And in those moments, persistence is not just a choice. It becomes a character-defining act. Psychologically, persistence builds resilience. Every time you push through resistance, you expand the limits of what you believe you can handle. You strengthen the muscle of discipline. And what's fascinating is that persistence transforms not only the outcome but also the person. The very act of enduring difficulty without surrender shapes you into someone more capable of handling life itself. You become less fragile, less dependent on external circumstances, and more grounded in inner strength. That's why persistence isn't merely about reaching goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who refuses to be broken by life. Now, persistence doesn't mean blind repetition. It means learning, adjusting, recalibrating, and moving forward with renewed focus. That's why persistence and failure are inseparable. Failure gives you the feedback. Persistence is what enables you to use it. Together they create progress. One without the other is useless. Failure without persistence is defeat. Persistence without learning is stubbornness. But when combined, they lead to mastery. And mastery, in almost every domain, is built not from giant leaps, but from small, consistent steps. This is the third truth we must embrace. Every small effort brings you closer to victory. We often glamorize success as if it arrives in one grand breakthrough, but the reality is that it's accumulated through countless, often invisible, acts of effort. The person who appears to succeed overnight has, in most cases, spent years quietly stacking up small wins, each one almost insignificant on its own, but transformative when compounded. This principle is visible in nature itself. Mountains are not formed in a single day. They rise from countless movements of the earth over millennia. Rivers carve canyons not by force alone, but by the steady persistence of water flowing, drop by drop. Likewise, your daily efforts, the decisions to try again, to improve slightly, to refuse to quit, are what carve the path toward your own breakthrough. The challenge, of course, is that small efforts rarely feel satisfying in the moment. They feel ordinary, even pointless at times. But this is where perspective matters. Success is not a single event to wait for. It is a process you participate in daily. Each time you choose effort over apathy, courage over fear, discipline over laziness, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your future. And eventually, what seemed impossible becomes inevitable, not because of one massive act, but because of many small, faithful ones. When you combine these three truths, failure as a teacher, persistence as a strength, and small efforts as progress, you begin to see that never give up is not just a motivational slogan. It is a philosophy for living. It's a way of orienting yourself toward the world with courage, humility, and determination. And the alternative, to give up when life gets difficult, leads to regret, bitterness, and the haunting knowledge that you stopped short of who you could have been. So the next time you fail, remind yourself, this is not the end, it's the beginning. When you feel exhausted and ready to quit, remember, persistence is shaping you into someone stronger than you were yesterday. And when your daily efforts feel small and unimportant, know this. They are compounding, silently building toward something far greater than you can see right now. In the end, life is not testing how many times you win. It's testing how many times you rise. And if you choose to rise, no matter how many times you fall, you will embody the deepest meaning of strength itself. Never give up. Because every time you stand again, you declare to life, and to yourself, that you are not finished yet. So remember this. Failure is not the end. Persistence builds your strength, and every small step is a victory in disguise. If you carry these truths with you, nothing can stop you from becoming the person you're meant to be. And if this message inspired you, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it because someone else might need it right now. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and join me for more powerful insights and life-changing motivation. Together, we'll keep moving forward, and we'll never give up.